This is exactly what we needed in 2025. Doom the Dark Ages is coming out very soon and it will blow everything out of the water. No joke, if GTA 6 gets delayed and doesn't come out this year, then Doom the Dark Ages is a prime candidate for Game of the Year. But stay tuned until the end of this video because Doom just revealed some surprises nobody could have predicted. First up, it's gonna release the 15th of May 2025, which is less than 2 weeks away, but if you pre-order the game then you will be able to play it from the 13th. It's gonna come out on PC, PS5 and Xbox Series X and S, and it's gonna be an $80 game. Yes, we are getting into the era of more expensive games, but for this particular one I really think it's worth it and I'll show you why. But yeah, it's a premium price to pay for a premium game. This is gonna be a prequel. The action in the Dark Ages happens way before Doom 2016 because this game is gonna explore Doomguy's past in a different dimension, and apparently we'll also get to see how Doomguy was created. And if you're wondering who that is, the Doomguy, or the Doomslayer as he's also known, is the main character of all the Doom games. That's who you play as, but you won't play as usual, and that's because Doom the Dark Ages will be a vastly different experience from previous Doom games, so stick around to find out how and why. A lot of people have been asking about the multiplayer aspect of this. Plain and simple, there will be no multiplayer for the Dark Ages. There was multiplayer in their past games, but they decided not to do it for this one, and that's because they wanted to devote all their resources on the single player campaign and make it as good as possible. The developers even came out and said, "This is the best Doom game we've ever made," and I really hope the game lives up to that expectation because they've made some amazing Doom games, and if this one is apparently even better, then I don't even know what to say. This is gonna be out of this world. And to be honest, no multiplayer will disappoint a specific part of the audience, the people who wanted to spend hundreds of hours on the multiplayer aspect of the game. But if they really put all of those multiplayer resources into the single player campaign and really actually made it so much better than the other Doom games, then I think you will probably be able to still get hundreds of hours out of this if you replay that campaign on different difficulties. And we'll talk about all of the difficulty options, but first let's take a look at special weapons. Yes, apart from your normal weapons, which you've always had, now you also have some special ones, and these are not really weapons, but you'll see what I mean. First up, we've got a Mecha Slayer, and this is a giant mech that can fight huge demons. I know this was shown in past Doom games, you could see it out in the distance while you were fighting, but you could never control one. Well, now you can, and I just wasn't expecting any of that. Who would have thought you will be able to control a giant mech in a Doom game? I know that just seems random, but it makes sense, and the gameplay looks so smooth. I can't wait to get my hands on that. But also the CyberDragon. This is a huge dragon that has laser wings and cannons, and it can also breathe fire. And yes, you can control this one too. You're gonna have dogfights taking down these huge ships and also huge demons that you just beat while riding your dragon. I'm just seeing all of these and I'm wondering, how did we end up here? Doom used to just be, you go down some hallways and there's pixelated demons coming around the corners and your weapon is stuck in the middle of the screen and you just kind of turn around your camera to shoot in their general direction. So to come from that all the way into having a giant mech and a CyberDragon and being able to control all of those with different gameplay systems for each and every one and a lot of new weapons, that's just amazing what they were able to do. And I completely know some of you are sour after hearing that $80 price tag, but honestly, after hearing all of this, I think that might be worth it. So just take this as a little recommendation from me. If you're on the fence about getting it or not, please get it. You will definitely enjoy it. And how do I know you will definitely enjoy it? That's because of all the new difficulty settings. You've got 6 different difficulty levels because the devs just wanted this to be a game for everybody to get into the Doom universe. So even if you've never played a Doom game before, you don't know what this is all about, the Dark Ages is the perfect place for you to jump in. That's basically the beginning of Doomguy's story, so you're jumping in at the beginning of the story. This is not a sequel where you don't know what happened before. You can just buy Doom the Dark Ages and play it and you will understand everything. You also have all of these difficulty levels, and if that's not enough for you, they also added a lot of sliders for particular adjustments. For example, you can change the parry window, you can change the game speed, the enemy aggression, and a lot more things. So that means you can tune all of the difficulty aspects of the game to make it unique to you, just to make sure you will 100% enjoy this game. Whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever platform you're playing it on, you can adjust it to your particular play style and what you want out of it, and you will be able to enjoy this no matter matter what. But this wouldn't be a video about Doom if we didn't talk about the weapons. So the usual ones will still be in the game, except the shotgun with the grappling hook. That's not a thing anymore because the gameplay has changed dramatically, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But I first have to talk about this awesome new weapon, and I can't wait to get my hands on that. It's called the Skull Crusher, and it just takes the skulls of your enemies and crushes them into smaller shards that you then shoot back at them. Imagine just doing that with that awesome Doom soundtrack in the back. That's gonna be amazing. Apparently this weapon is supposed to be very good for crowd control, but I might just use it all the time because it looks and sounds awesome. This might be the most Doom weapon in any Doom game ever. But this is not the only new one. We've actually got 3 melee weapons this time, plus a special one. But first, please leave a like on this video if you enjoy it. It helps me out a lot, so thanks for doing that. Now back to the melee weapons. First you have the flail, and I think you're gonna be using this a lot because this is your basic melee attacks. You can just take it out whenever you want and just bash demons in the head with it, and it also has some cool animations. But then you've got your electrified gauntlet. It does exactly what you'd expect it to do from its name. You can charge this and punch demons in the face while shocking them as well. And to be honest, I think you're gonna pull some awesome finisher moves with this. Oh, by the way, glory kills are not in the game anymore, but that's not an issue. You've got all of these different animations. That glory kills not being a thing isn't even really a thing if every kill is like a glory kill. But maybe the most important weapon in the whole game is the shield saw. It works as a shield, and hear this out, it also works as a saw. And it kind of reminds me of Kratos' axe from the recent God of War games, because you can throw it and you can call it back to you, and it will deal damage to enemies on the way there and on the way back. Obviously it won't feel like Kratos' axe, because these are 2 very different games with very different gameplay feels. But the shield saw just looks heavy when you throw it. It looks like it has this weight to it, and that's exactly what you want to see in a game like this. And here's the reason I said the shield saw might actually be the most important weapon in the whole game, and that's because you can now use it to block, deflect, or even parry attacks. Which, yeah, sounds like it will add a fun new layer to the combat, but actually if you look into it, this item right here is the one that completely changes the gameplay of Doom. Because you're going from Doom Eternal, the last game released in the franchise, where you're just running around, hovering midair, and doing all of these moves. You're dashing, you're flanking enemies, and you were doing all of that because you had no way of deflecting the attacks. If a projectile was coming your way, you either got out of the way or got the damage from it. Now you've got a shield, so you can block, deflect, and even parry the attacks. And this is really important because now it's not just another option, oh, if I can't get out of the way in time, I can just block it. Now you're gonna be dashing towards the projectile because you want to perfect parry it so that you can deal more damage and stagger the enemies. So because of the shield saw, you are not running away anymore, you're actually running towards the danger, and this might actually make the gameplay even faster, even more chaotic, and you're just gonna live on the edge at all times because you are going towards the projectiles that are dealing damage to you. They're just throwing you to the wolves, and you need to figure it out, stand your ground, and battle the demons. And then I said there's a special melee weapon, and that's the River Chain Shot. But this one's part of a different realm. So speaking of that, let's take a look at the newest addition to the Doom universe, the Cosmic Realm. This is a Lovecraftian dimension, and if you know what that means, you're probably gonna enjoy it. I know I certainly like Lovecraftian games, and to see something like that in the Doom universe, that's just amazing, to be honest. We don't know anything about the story so far, but apparently Hell united with the Cosmic Realm. We don't know why, we don't know how, we just know that we need to battle both of them. And what's with this Cosmic Realm, because this was never in any Doom game before, so this is completely and entirely new, and it's unique to Doom the Dark Ages. It's gonna have some different enemies. They've just showed us 2 of them. You've got your Cosmic Baron, which has psionic attacks, whatever that means. Apparently these can block projectiles and kill the player in seconds, so this is gonna be a really tough enemy. I don't know if it's gonna be like a mini boss or anything like that. I don't think this is gonna be a full-fledged boss battle. I think these are enemies that you will encounter in the world, but it's gonna be a really tough one. But speaking of new demons in the Cosmic Realm, we also have the Cosmic Realm Cacodemon, and this is actually a hybrid between Hell and the Cosmic Realm. And you might know them, Cacodemons have been in multiple Doom games at this point, but never like this. This is a completely new redesign just for the Dark Ages, and I can't wait to kill some of these because it's always so satisfying. And finally, the new weapon I was talking about, the River Chain Shot. This is a special weapon created specifically to fight the demons inside the Cosmic Realm. It's powered by something called a Chaos Orb, and it's gonna have both a light and a heavy attack. This big metal ball is attached to a chain, which technically makes this a melee weapon, even though it's gonna have way greater range than any of the other ones. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, the gameplay. Earlier I hinted at Doom the Dark Ages being vastly different to the other Doom games. Well, to the other modern Doom games, and you'll see why in just a minute, but that's because this is gonna be more grounded. It strays away from Doom Eternal's verticality and movement, and it just sticks you to the ground and makes you fight the demons. You can still go around, flank them, use strategy, but you're not just gonna be flying around. You're gonna feel heavy, you're gonna be heavily armed, you're gonna feel like a badass on the battlefield, and that's because they want you to stand your ground and fight. Now, if some of you are concerned that this is going away from what made Doom games really cool, it's actually not. It's just going back to its roots, because this is heavily inspired by the original Doom games, the ones I was talking about earlier, where you go down a hallway and you can just turn around and shoot enemies. You need to stand your ground, you can just evade things and dash in all directions. So with Doom going back to its roots, the devs came out and said, hey, look here, the gameplay will have 3 core pillars. It's gonna be the combat, the story, and the exploration. And that's really good news for me. Of course, Doom is all about the fighting and shooting, but sometimes you had these puzzle sections where you need to use your exploration, a little bit of platforming to find certain collectibles or items that will then help you upgrade the weapons. And that was also really cool to just take a break from the action and do some quick platforming puzzles. It seems like that's still gonna be in the game. So even if you're a completionist, you want to get 100%, you can still do a lot of these sections in the Dark Ages. You don't have to just fight all the time. But the thing that I'm most excited about, to be honest, is the shield saw, because that's the one item that completely changes the gameplay. And I can't wait to just experience that parry system that we've basically never had in Doom. At least I can't remember a Doom game where you could parry attacks, so that should be very, very cool. Of course, the gameplay aspect of things also includes the flying dragon and the giant mech, which are absolutely insane. But there are actually a couple more changes that we need to talk about. First of all, now you can go through levels in any order and complete your objectives. You don't have to go from point A to point B to point C. You just load into a level and you can do any objective in any order you want. The developers said there's gonna be 22 levels in this game, and they also said they tried to keep every level about an hour long. So each one of these will basically be a mini open world where you can complete any objective first and then move at your own pace. But 22 levels at 1 hour per level. Doom the Dark Ages is gonna be a 20-hour plus game, probably trending towards the 30-hour mark. So this might just be another argument for that price tag, because previous Doom games were about 10 hours, something like that. I already talked about the puzzle solving areas where you need to find stuff, but there's actually one extra new thing that they've added. Now some bosses have a morale meter, and what that means is you can't deal damage to a certain boss until you've defeated enough of the smaller enemies. You need to get his morale down and then you can deal damage to him. So there's gonna be a lot of strategizing around these big battles. You're gonna need to dodge or parry all the attacks of the boss while fighting all of the smaller enemies, and only then you can focus on beating the boss up. And to be honest, I think that's pretty cool. I can't wait for it. So a quick recap: Doom the Dark Ages releases on May 15th. It's gonna have no multiplayer and it's gonna be vastly different from the last Doom games. Apart from that, we're gonna have new weapons, improved mechanics, and different gameplay. So if you enjoyed all of that, make sure to leave a like on this video and also subscribe if you want to see more news videos like this. I've been Games for Life, and I'll see you next time.